exploding.
Look at the data. More people on more screens.
For more time, using more platforms than ever.
It's not slowing down.
To be successful, you have to understand all the pieces.
Hi, my name is Gomersall, and I've spent my entire career at the intersection of marketing, technology, and creativity. And there's never been a better time than to be in all three. In each of those industries, it's important to start with the why you're doing it, why you're setting out on a creative project, why you're working on a piece of technology, etc. The why of this video series is because I have the pleasure of spending most of my days talking to very innovative, smart, intelligent people that have a lot of really great things to say. I learn a lot from them. And so to get some of these on video and start capturing some of this. And today, I'm with Shauna Heller, who is the founder of Clay Park VR. I actually met Shauna probably a year ago-ish in Napa Valley when she worked for Oculus, and we had an offsite for Facebook, and her team was in teaching us all the goodies and the new stuff about virtual reality. And since then, she's gone off to do her own thing. She's doing a lot of innovative things with brands specifically, so I thought it was relevant to the Atomized marketing series. So I'm going to go ahead and jump right in. Thank you for joining, Shauna.
You're welcome. Thanks for the invitation to participate. It's a great topic.
Yes, it is. So speaking of that topic, what is the number one thing that brands should know about VR?
Well, I think the number one thing that brands should know about VR is that virtual reality is an actual medium and not just a trend. It's not something that will just go away, next year when a new fad takes over the technology sector. It's really, virtual reality is here. It's only going to get better. It's only going to get bigger and have a bigger impact on culture and marketing and brands with each passing month.
Awesome. And just from a brand perspective, are there any misunderstandings that you're coming across where brands sort of think they've got it, but they don't really have it, and how you steer them in the right direction?
Sure. I think when it comes to virtual reality, there are maybe two kind of larger areas where people are maybe confused or have a misunderstanding. And one of them is that VR is 360-degree video. And actually, those are two separate things. VR is content that is created in a game engine that reacts with users based on where they're looking or what they're doing while they have the headsets on. And while there's storytelling in 360 video, it's not interactive. So that's kind of a big differentiator. And then the next is that VR is a young medium and prone to being mislabeled as only being good for gaming. Real virtual reality will change the landscape in education, enterprise, communications, and productivity. Industries from architecture and automotive to energy, oil, and gas, plus healthcare and medical institutions have all begun to think about virtual reality and embrace it in maybe small ways, but get to it. And they're looking to use VR as a way to enhance their training programs, their design development, and much, much beyond that. It's important for brands to kind of embrace that same spirit of virtual reality innovation and development, and not confuse it with just being 360-degree video.
Awesome. That's a great answer. I don't even think about half of that stuff, which is amazing to be in that specific space. So if you were talking to, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say it's, that's the big invitation that I'm making to brands when I'm out there talking with them, and they call me or are referred to me. They said, how can we be thinking about virtual reality? And it's pretty much the first place I start is by sharing with them how other industries and which impacts who their clients are. How other industries are thinking about virtual reality and embracing it, and so it inspires and gives them ideas for how they too can be doing it.
That's great. And if you had a massive audience right now of brands and agencies, what are the top three things you would tell them to consider when dealing with virtual reality?
I think the three ways that brands can leverage VR effectively is to be thinking about point of view. Sharing aspects of a brand or product that consumers cannot experience any other way, some niche or micro aspect of the manufacturing process or design process. It's super exciting when you think that when you build something in a game engine, instead of just shooting it with 360 degrees, that you can really push in on special details of a product or a service and communicate a story that really no one really had imagined that they could before. And then, it sounds silly, but delight is actually a way to use VR really effectively. Delight is a word that we use authentically in virtual reality. It means introducing, a way to engage consumers and get them to interact with a brand or product and using light games. So delight actually kind of equals a light gaming kind of aspect where you're getting customers and consumers to engage with a brand through certain interactivity that you can find in virtual reality.
Awesome. And then you said a word there in your description. You used the word special. I mean,
yes.
Kind of focusing on that word. What is something special that VR can offer for brands?
Sure. Virtual reality, when it comes to brands, offer a couple of different special things. I think the most exciting thing is to offer them a new platform for engagement that brands can then pull more metrics out of than they are used to with mobile or web. In mobile or the web, you're used to catching metrics in a way that gives you just a certain amount of data. So now that virtual reality is here and headsets are coming into the mainstream, big push in 2016 and into 2017, the technology behind the headsets will offer brands a way to capture even more data on their consumer base and their user base. Through this, where it used to be the internet, where you had clicks, or in mobile, where you had time spent on a page before bouncing, now you can use the headsets to track a user's gaze to see where they're looking at in virtual reality. And when you're thinking about a brand in virtual reality, essentially you'll be able to say, okay, they're gazing right at our product or they're gazing right over here, and it creates a heat map. And brands can then understand better what is enticing to consumers in virtual reality about their products. Oh, are they very interested in looking at the underside of our packaging, or are they doing a product exploration from top down? How are they interacting with that content? And then they can start tailoring, just like they had on the internet and on mobile. They can start tailoring the content that they're creating even more specific to individual users. So when we're talking about how brands can leverage VR effectively, we talked already about point of view, and we talked about delight. And one of the third ways that brands can leverage VR effectively is to actually act as sponsors. There is a great need for investment in marketing dollars in real VR development that advances a VR initiative in, say, education or science or social good that is in alignment with the brand image, but does not have a direct impact on the brand, but does create a positive press and brand impressions and more brand love. This is a huge added benefit because then brands can learn about VR while they work through their own particular strategy. And there are a lot of developers working on really exciting projects that would align with a particular brand's image or brand story, but they don't necessarily think about that first. They think more about 360 video. And so I just want to invite brands to start thinking about how they can throw some of their marketing dollars behind sponsoring VR development that will then enhance their understanding of VR as they try to capture the best use of the technology for their products or services.
Awesome. Wow, that's really impressive. Thank you so much for joining, Shauna. That is a lot of really great information. We could spend 30 minutes on every single one of those sentences you just went over. You have obviously a lot of insight and a lot of intelligence in this area, and I would urge people to reach out to you and ask. We'll put your information in the video for everybody later on. Anybody that's watching, please give your thumbs up, thumbs down, stuff you like, stuff you didn't like. We're going to improve this video series moving forward. We're going to do more of these videos. Thank you so much for watching. Have a good one.